Saturday, April 5, 2014. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1983 Mercedes 240 Diesel. I am continuing with bodywork today. I actually have been trying to speed along the project by getting out here in the evening as much as I can after work and doing some work on the car, because I want to try to drive this car starting this summer. Anyhow, you can see right here a spot I've been working on the trunk lid. I haven't started to clean up these welds yet, nor am I done with this. But basically, the original owner of the car had drilled the trunk lid for some reason, and there was a rubber plug here closing off a hole. My only guess is that maybe there was a CB antenna or something like that mounted on the trunk at some point. But, as I said, there was an old rubber plug here which I pried out, and basically what I did was I cut a coin-sized piece of steel, probably about the size of a nickel, to fit in the hole there, and I started welding it in. I was really only working on this for a few minutes before I got interrupted, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my grinder here, smooth out the welds I already have, and then continue tacking this in place and cleaning it up. You can see here all the spatter on the car's paint, but since I'm going to be painting the car anyway, no big deal there. Okay, as you can see, I have this hole filled up now. Like I said previously, this was a coin-sized hole in the trunk lid, and now it's gone. And basically, I am going to treat both sides of this weld, and then I'm going to move on from here. And then once I'm ready to paint the car, a skim coat of filler will even this out, and you'll never know this was here. Now, the trunk lid has this kind of bracing here all along the edge, and the hole was actually behind this right here. So what I did was a few days ago I drilled a hole, so I will be able to spray in there and treat the back of that weld, because I don't want to weld anything where I can't get any sort of a treatment on the back of it, because that'll just lead to further future rust if I don't do that. So I'm going to treat this weld and move on from here. Okay, I actually have some rust encapsulator on this spot now, and that's drying. And eventually I'll get a skim coat of filler on there just to smooth that out. Like I said, you'll never know there was a hole there before. And what I also did was I treated the back side of this patch I did last week. Basically, like I said, the previous owner of the car, either himself or either on his own or he had somebody do it, had drilled a whole bunch of holes in the body to spray some kind of oily coating into the rockers to help preserve everything, which I'm not sure how well it did, but that was the stuff I had to clean up before I could weld. So anyhow, I already had some holes in the body, but I drilled some more. And drilled a couple here inside this panel also. So what I did was I actually have I have a flexible wand that attaches to my spray cans, and I sprayed Eastwood rust encapsulator into these holes to treat that new weld, and into all these holes all along the rocker to treat the back side of everything I did. And that way, hopefully, the new repairs won't rust anywhere near so quickly. And what I'm going to do once the rust encapsulator is dry, which probably won't be today, is I'm going to use that same spray nozzle to get back into the rocker and behind this repair here, and spray some Eastwood heavy-duty anti-rust, which is like a waxy coating. And once again, I've used both these products before this exact same way with pretty good success, as in I've done these kind of repairs, and several years later everything was still completely solid. So that's what that is right now. So my next step is to get into the trunk and finish off the inside of this repair right here. Once again, I have this last week I did the front and rear portions of the wheel well, But on the inside of the trunk here, let me show you. I still need to rejoin the inner fender panel to the new panel, and I need to close off that hole in the floor right there. So I'm gonna start measuring and cutting patches, and then I'll start attaching them to the car. Well, I was continuing on the side of the trunk here, and I thought this panel was a little more solid than it was, but I quickly realized that this center missing portion here was just undercoating, and there was no metal left. Which once again shows you how much the undercoating can hide on these cars. I wasn't even aware of this particular hole. So I debated my options, and seeing another hole right down here too, just noticing it. And I could have cut some scrap to weld this up, but I actually did have a whole replacement panel for this, which I bought just in case, and it turns out it was a good idea. This is another one of these Clocker Home panels. It actually was quite a bit longer, filled up all the way to the back here, but I don't need that much. Once again, I want to preserve as much original metal as I can. So I made some cuts here because it's not a perfect fit. Very good though, pretty close. And fitting it in place right now. So once I weld it in, it'll be all good. But this side here, as you can see, I've had to massage it with a hammer in order to get the panel to fit down in here properly. And I'm still not quite 100% where I need to be. I need to hammer down on it a bit more to get it to fit in place. So I'm going to take care of that, and then I'm going to do some undercoating removal underneath the car and get this panel into place, and then see what I can do about that portion right back there. I'm going to call it a day right here. As you can see, I have that spot cut out, everything ground down, and weld through primer applied. And the same in the wheel well and underneath the car. You can see I ground away a whole bunch of the really thick factory undercoating there. Just wanted to have clean metal to weld on. So hopefully I'll be able to get to this tomorrow. And I also have the patch panel completely prepped. So I really had hoped to get more done today, but this isn't too bad. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I can do some more work on this tomorrow.